Hi friends, I'm very happy to stand before you for the classes of 8th standard and history section and lesson 2, the expansion of British power in India, and there are few topics we completed by last episodes. Maybe today we have to go for the part 5 and the history section and lesson 2, the expansion of the British power in India. And there are so many topics we completed by last 4 episodes, and mainly the Carnatic War, first, second and third Carnatic War we completed. So today mainly we have to deal with this main topic, that's called the conquest of Bengal. Okay, so 3 different Carnatic War we completed, and reels also we understood, and now we have to learn about this new topic. You know that maybe this conquest of Bengal, here we can understand that so many information. And the 18th century, Bengal was one of the richest provinces, okay, in the Indian subcontinent with developed trade and commerce. You know that the 80th century, mainly this we can understand that the 80th century, okay, maybe even the Bengal, we can understand that they become developed because of the trade and commerce. Okay, they developed because of the trade and commerce. Okay, on the 80th century in Bengal we can understand that maybe because of the trade and commerce they almost developed because of the trade and with the commerce. Now in 1770 the Mughal Emperor, okay, Farooq Siyar gave the English East India Company to privilege to import and export without paying tax. Okay, now we can understand out of the person, his name is Farooq Siyar. Okay, one of the person, his name is Farooq Siyar. He is the Mughal Emperor. Okay, Farooq Siyar is one of the Mughal Emperor. He gave the English East India Company to privilege to import and export without tax. You know that? With the trade and commerce was going on in Bengal, and this Farooq Siyar, one of the Mughal Emperor, given the permission, others given the privilege to the English East India Company. Okay, English East India Company, and the privilege for the import and export. Okay, importing things from European countries and export the thing from India to their own countries. So import and export. This both for both import and export, the Farooq Siyar and one of the Mughal Emperor given the privilege to the English East India Company without tax. Okay, so you know that whatever things maybe the dealing or business transaction we had to do from our India, from the Mughal, and maybe they used to take the taxes. But this Farooq Siyar given the praise for the English East India Company that you should not pay a single coin as the tax, but you can have the export and import for the Bengal. This is the information we are getting this part. Now, that is also on the 1770, okay, 1770, this particular year, and Farooq Siyar given the privilege to the English East India Company for the import and export without tax. Now, the company could issue dust tax, that is passes for its goods to be exempt from taxes. Okay, and here we are getting the information that the company could issue dust tax. Okay, you know one of the things is called dust tax. Dust tax. Company issued the dust tax. That means passes. Okay, for the permission, for the passes. You know that nowadays we have the toll booths are available. Toll booths. They are collecting that tax. Otherwise, they are collecting the toll from the on the road. We can say the highways and byways are there. Toll booths are available now, and they are collecting the toll. The same way, for the export and import, and from the Bengal, this Farooq Siyar given the privilege to English Company without tax, without paying a single coin, you can have the import and export, and they are given the dust tax. The dust tax means pass. They have given the pass for the English East India Company for their own trade and for their own export and import without having tax. Okay. Now, here we can understand that the company's servants were allowed to take part in the private trade, but they have to pay taxes. You know that there are so many servants the company's servant is there. Okay, this company's servants also, they can also start, they are also allowed to start their own business. Okay, their own trade. Company's servants also allowed to have their own, maybe the trade, but they have to pay the tax. But you know that only the English East India Company, they can have maybe export and import without having tax, because they are given the dust tax, that means the passes for the English East India Company, and they have to show the passes, they can have the export and import. At the same time, the servants of the companies, they can also start their own trade, but they have to pay the taxes to the Mughal. Okay, that was the situation on those days. Now, however, the companies soon began to misuse the power and issued the dust tax passes to the private traders. You know that the company, English East India Company, got the dust tax, the passes for the trade, import and export, and you know that the servants of the maybe company, they can start their own, maybe their own business, their own trade, but they have to pay the taxes. But you know that gradually this English East India Company misused the power, misused the dust tax, misused the passes, because they got the power from the Farooqiyar, but they already allow the servant also without tax. Okay, they are giving the maybe the dust tax, others passes to the servants also. So those people are not paying maybe the taxes to the government, otherwise to the Mughal. That's the information we are getting. You know that only East India Company were allowed to have export and import without tax. But the private people, otherwise the servants, they started any business, they have to pay taxes to the government, otherwise the Mughal. But if this English East India Company misused that power, and they are allowed, given that tax to the servants also, those who are working as their own small companies, and they also now don't need to pay, they never pay the taxes to the Mughals. That is the situation, because they misused their own power. And here this helped to carry on trade without paying taxes to the Bengal government. Now we can understand that only maybe the Farooqiyar allowed English East India Company without tax, but English East India Company misused their power, and they are given that dust tax, otherwise passes to the servants also. That purpose only those people are doing any business in maybe Bengal, they also not only paying a single coin to the government, otherwise a single coin to the Farooqiyar, otherwise the Bengal government. That is the situation. So what happened? Now so many trades are taken place, and these people, nobody is paying tax to the government, because the power was misused by the English East India Company, and almost rest of the small traders, they also not going to pay any single taxes to the Bengal government. So that made so many problems, create so many problems are there. Now Alivardi Khan, the Nawab of the Bengal, was able to stop the misuse of the dust tax. Okay, so now the Bengal government, they came to know that Alivardi, one of the person named Alivardi Khan. Okay. Alivardi Khan, one of another person, he was the Nawab of Bengal. Okay, now the Alivardi Khan, he was the maybe Nawab of the Bengal. He was able to stop the misuse of the dust tax. Okay, English East India Company misusing the dust tax, otherwise the passes, and they are giving the passes even the small traders also. So these small traders people also, business people are not paying tax to the government. So that purpose only Alivardi Khan, he tried to stop maybe these are the all kinds of maybe misuse of the English East India Company. That purpose only he tried his level was to stop these are the misuses. And here we understand that Alivardi Khan was succeeded by his grandson and Siraj Ud Dawla. One of the another person, his name is Siraj Ud Okay, Alivardi's grandson, his name is Siraj Ud Dawla. He is the grandson of Alivardi Khan. Okay, Alivardi Khan also to stop the misuse of the English East India Company, and you know Siraj-ud-Dawla is the grandson. He was succeeded to Alivarda Khan, and he also tried to stop the misuse of the English East India Company. So here we are getting clear understanding that he tried to enforce the tax and the trade to stop the misuse of the debtors. And this new grandson of the Alivarda Khan, his name is Siraj-ud-Dawla. He also made so many contributions to stop this misusing of the English East India Company, and he even ordered to the French and English to stop the fortification of their territories in Bengal. Now, this Siraj-ud-Dawla, he just informed given the command to the English East India Company and French Company that you have to stop the fortification of your own fort, because these two companies, and wherever they are in the Bengal, you know that these people and always they are fortifying their own territory. Okay, in Bengal, English East India Company, French East India Company, they were doing the fortification of their own territories in Bengal, and now this grandson of Alivarda Khan, his name is Siraj-ud-Dawla. He just given the command to the English East India Company and the French East India Company and said that you have to stop the fortification of their own territories in Bengal, because they understand that even the Siraj-ud-Dawla understood that, because if you are going ahead such a way, and you know even the government of the Bengal, others the Mughal, they will not get a tax from the people, and maybe the kingdom may be expired within a few days, others a few years, kingdom will be no more, maybe the coming days. That purpose only, because money is needed for everyone. If somebody is having their own kingdom, they need enough money. Then only they are able to run smooth in their own kingdom. So without money, if they are not getting tax, then how they will survive? That's a problem for one of the question for this Siraj-ud-Dawla. So he was giving the command to the English East India Company and also French East India Company that you have to stop the fortification of your own territories. Okay, that said by Siraj-ud-Dawla, one of the grandson of Alivarda Khan. Okay, now, but the French are obeyed and English refused to do so. You know that Alivarda and Alivarda Khan's grandson Siraj-ud-Dawla given this command to the English East India Company. You know that only French obeyed, because French just stopped maybe 40 years their own territories, and the French already stopped according to the command of the Siraj-ud-Dawla. And you know that even English East India Company still continued. That means only obeyed by the French and disobeyed by the English East India Company. Okay, because he said that Siraj-ud-Dawla said that you have to stop the fortification of your own territories. Then French they obeyed, and you know that English East India Company disobeyed the command of Siraj-ud-Dawla. And what happened? Here, while the French obeyed and English East India Company refused to do so, and that led to the decisive and extreme and conflict between the Nawab of Bengal and the English East India Company in Bengal. Okay, so because the command of Siraj-ud-Dawla are not followed by the English East India Company, but you know French they followed the command from the Siraj-ud-Dawla, and you know that the English East India Company refused to do so, because they said that you have to stop fortification of your own territories. But still, the English East India Company tried to fortify their own territories. So they disobeyed. So this is one of the reasons the conflict between the Bengal, maybe the Nawab the government, and with English East India Company. Okay, this is maybe the conquest of the Bengal we can understand. Okay, so from this topic, the conquest of the Bengal, mainly we can understand that you know that maybe almost they used to collect the tax from all the people, all the companies. But Farooq Siyar, he allowed the English East India Company, to without allowed the dustas passes, and without paying tax you are able to import and export the thing from our own country. You are able to export things from our own country. You are able to import things from European countries to India. So there is no more problem to the Bengal. So he allowed the dustas. Because of the dustas, you know that other so many the company servants also there. They also started their own small factories. Trades are there, and actually they have to pay the tax to the Bengal government. But you know that later English East India Company misused their own power. They are giving that discharge to the servant also. That one of the reason. Even the servants also not at all paying a single coin to the government. Otherwise, the Bengal government, Mughal emperors. That purposely they are not getting enough money. Then how they will survive? Because they have to look after their own kingdom. So they need enough money. If money is not coming to there, then how they will survive? That's one of the reason. You know, the Alivarda Khan came to know that these are devices used by the English East India Company That purposely he was just want to stop the even the Daksas. Okay, and his own grandson, we can understand that Siraj-ud-Dawla, he said that you have to even the whatever Siraj said that there's the French companies, they obeyed that, and English East India Company not all obeyed the command which is came from the Siraj-ud-Dawla. He said that you have to stop fortification your own territories in Bengal. And this is one of the conflict between English East India Company and the Bengal Mughal emperors. Okay, that is called the conquest of the Bengal. Okay, so I hope that you understand. As 13th, maybe 18th century, otherwise maybe Farrukhsiyar, 1770. Okay, the Shiites, and they have already allowed the trade and without taxes. But English East India Company misused. Because of that, this Siraj-ud-Dawla, he came to know about all the devices of the English East India Company. He tried to stop all those things. Because of that, he said that you have to stop the fortification of your own territories. But the French obeyed, English East India Company disobeyed. That is one of the reason in between the fight. Otherwise, the conflict between the English East India Company and the Nawab. Okay, that's the clear information we are getting from this part. These are the information from this topic, the conquest of Bengal. Now, I hope that you understand about the conquest of the Bengal and what was the reason behind it for the conquest. So, we'll go for the next topic by the next episode. And next episode we are going to look after the Battle of the Plassey 1757 by the next episode. So, I will have to wind up, and you have to go to the books and read again and again, and you understand it. Okay. If you have any doubts, you clarification, you inform me by your own comments, and I will deal with that. Okay. Then till the next topic. Bye. God bless you all.